Good morning. Welcome to Green Jay Landscaping and Landscapes for Better Living. And here we are at our secret pond in the woods restoration project. This is a lot of fun and another example of ecological landscaping at its best. Our first involvement here was to come look at the pond, which was pretty full of debris, and it was basically heavily loaded with sediment and mostly woody debris and so forth. What happened here originally is this is a stream that comes out of a golf course in Westchester, and it comes through a woodland basically. And as it comes through the woodland and through that beautiful backyard, it was impounded with this stone wall in about 1930. And this is a common practice that was employed about 1930, 1940 in this area of Westchester. And what it was is to create a swimming hole. And in this case, it's very interesting. They used rammed earth, and they ramped it up to the top so that the water would spill over the stone wall. What happens is it broke at the weakest area, where the most storm water put the most load-bearing weight and pressure, which is in that corner. So the water flows over onto a natural rock outcropping and then goes into the stream below. We work with Cooper Ponds, which has a specialized barge adaptation with hoses that enable us to suck out debris and sediment from the pond bottom without dewatering or mechanical intrusion. Our challenge there, we spent 4 days biovacking from a barge, and what we did in the second day, we realized we just simply had too much large woody debris. So we needed to get in there by hand and take out the woody debris, and we had a truckload or two of sticks and branches, but mostly woodland debris. So we took that out, and that was enabled the next 3 days of biovacking and suction harvesting or hydraulic dredging to be more effective. The last day we went in with big pond nets, and we skimmed it like you would a pool. And that was a lot of fun because it was hot, so we got to go swimming for a little bit. We do a lot of consulting to landscape contractors, builders, and other professionals. We directed the landscape contractor to remove the Amur cork trees that are starting to colonize this area, and that's a fringe woodland species, invasive species that is very problematic because it has extremely sharp thorns. We don't want it in the swimming hole, and we don't want it to become a monoculture throughout. So it's as much of a pest as poison ivy or anything else. So over here, what happened over time, over 80 years, we had a leak coming out of here, water coming down here, undermining this wall, and then just pouring in a ravine down in here. In part of our construction project and process, what we did is we put silt fencing up here on the interior to hold back sediment, so we're not discharging sediment to dirty the water below. Then we used recycled stone from on-site mostly to build this retaining wall. So this retaining wall did not exist, so again there was a steep drop off. Then used the spoils and the dredging of this rich organic material to backfill this area. These are all native plants for the most part. I think actually all. And they're all perennials. So in the winter there won't be anything here, but we have a great variety of like Joe Pye weed blooming now, and fall sunflower, clover root, all kinds of fun stuff that is going to give us more interest for beneficial species, which is always key to making our organic program work and our balancing the ecology and attracting all the beneficial insects that we so desire in our landscape habitat. So here, what we did is there's a natural shelf, so we took more dredge material, and it was already some here, and we had some sand and organic matter. We built a retaining wall. So this retaining wall is simply a course of stone with filter fabric behind here, which retains a medium of organic soil and sand that allows us to plant these bog. The bog is a filtration device. Also aesthetically, it serves a purpose in transition from the terrestrial garden into the wetland. As the water passes through here, it's clean and goes back into the water course. These wetland plants provide more habitat, more ecological value. We have milkweed, we have iris here on the edges. So here we could walk into the water and go swimming. Here there's a nice hole about 4 feet. And it's just starting to rain in our bog rain garden, which is cool. And so we can, we go out swimming and see the waterfall here. We planted a lot of plants here, and we're gonna see what the hydrology will support. So over time, some of these plants will succeed and some of them will not, based upon what the water level becomes. If this goes lower and stays lower, some of these wetland species that require more than 2 inches of water are not gonna survive, and the other ones that will take 0 to 6 inches will survive. So we're gonna let this compete with itself to perform. So the best way to maintain this swimming hole now is to go in there a couple times a year with big pond nets and clean out some of the big debris and keep this forest debris from accumulating enough to trap everything else. So instead of spending 6 days basically dredging this with either pumps or by hand, it'll be able to be maintained in a day of hand dredging. So once again, the beautiful quality of the water here is fantastic. It's a Class B stream, so I wouldn't drink the water, but it's swimmable. And as we look back at the natural occurring waterfall underneath the bridge, we have a decent amount of water, and we pruned a lot of vegetation back so you can see it from the house, so you can see it from the lawn, from everywhere up there. Keep this open. So that's it, and stay tuned. If you like what you've seen, check out our website, greenjadelandscaping.com.